Hey everyone, welcome back to the bench. I hope you all had a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know I did. I was surprised. My daughter, who graduated AIT on December 3rd, gave us a nice story that she wasn't going to be able to come home on leave until February. So she was going to surprise her brother for his birthday. But December 22nd, I'm sitting there talking with my in-laws who came to visit, and guess who walks through the door, surprising the holy crap out of us? My daughter. She came home on leave for Christmas as our Christmas present surprise, so yay, it was great. So I definitely spent a lot of time with family over the break. I hope you did enjoy the Christmas video I did, and now we're getting back to the work on the bench. So in this video, it's going to kind of jump around a little bit. I did do some things during the break that you'll see, but I was also working on the commission. And so while things were drying or going to a spot on that, I got to work back on the Enterprise to share with you guys. But, so, with that, I'm having to wait for some things to come in on the commission, so I got back to some good work on the Enterprise, so I hope you do enjoy. It's fun. Definitely, like I said, I was itching to get back to her. So, with that, guys, if you are new to the channel, please click on the subscribe button, hit the little bell, and every time I do upload, you will know. And as always, I thank you all. I thank you all for continuing to be with me on these journeys that I do. I love the support. I love the comments. I love everything. I love helping other people get more enjoyment out of doing their builds. Especially, we've all reached that frustration stage. Sometimes it's nice to, oh yeah, so they get frustrated too, okay, and this is how they figured it. So hopefully my videos do give you guys some help. So as always, thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to all my subscribers. I really, really do appreciate it. And if you do have questions, please leave it in the comment section. I usually respond within 12 to 24 hours. So with that, guys, let's get back to the Enterprise. Well, happy Monday. It's in the afternoon, and it is December 28th. Only 3 more days left in this year. Hooray. And yes, I am getting to work back on the Enterprise. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm working on the impulse area first before I start doing any texturing and everything. That way I can cover this up and I'm not trying to play around with it because I still got to do some other painting here. But I want to get this all taken care of, those little parts, before I start really going crazy here. But yes, I did wet sand this down, and I used 3000 grit sandpaper to help wet sand it down. And you're asking, I thought you weren't going to get started until you got the other one done. But, well, I was, because I should be done with it this week. But I'm having to wait on the United States Postal Service. And something that was supposed to be delivered today, yeah, it's not going to be here today. It might be here Wednesday, it might be here Saturday, or it could be another week or two out. I don't know, because Postal Service is having heck. So I decided I got what I could get done on the car, so now I'm getting back to getting some work done on the Enterprise. And like I said, I'm working on the impulse section right now. So I'm masking off the impulse crystal, and then I'm going to go ahead and get this glued in to the saucer, and then I'll go ahead and do the paint on that. And I'm going to go with, where did you go? Where did you go? Oh, yes, there you go. I'm actually going to use duck egg blue on this part. It's the one that seems the best to fit with it. I mean, I'm trying. I know I'm not staying officially canon, but I'm doing what my eye likes, what I like seeing, what speaks to me, and what. So, yeah. So I'm gonna get doing this, and when I get it, I get this all done and glued in, and get ready to start the paint, I will, because yes, there is more Aztecing to do. So, guys, let me get finishing up on this, and I'll come back to you. Well, good afternoon, Tuesday, and yeah, still waiting on post to finish the other one again, but that's okay. So I went and already did around the impulse crystal. I masked out all that off, painted that the duck egg blue. Then I did medium blue here, and now I'm going to start with, to me, a flat black, and I'm going to start doing some texturing. And let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So the texture just helps give a little bit more detail than just what the big Aztec masks did. And it's going to be this one right here. And like I said, this is a generic one that Aztec Dummy does, and it's just going to work really great for what I want to do. So, again, if you need to, kind of play with it a little bit. And yes, let's see. So you always either want to go up and down, or let's try this. You always want to go 12 to 6 or 9 to 3. And I'm going to start right here. Now you can hold it up like this and just get a light, or I'm not putting it down real tight. Try not to anyway, just to help, and I'll make a lot shaper. Let me do a little bit more shape. So basically, all I'm going to do is I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to do a little bit like so. Just like that. Not, like I said, I'm not going to go crazy. But as you can tell, it's starting to add. Let me see. Zoom that in for you. Starting to add a little bit of that detail. And then, so I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to move it up here and do the same thing. And like I said, I'm not doing a very heavy paint. I just want to help start bringing up the indication that there's more than just those. And yes, this is going to be what the heck is going on. And trust me, always been there, done that too, guys. So, and again. And if you want to get more of a pronounced shape, you can definitely spray it a little harder. Okay, you can definitely do that. Or do a lighter shape. And then like I said, you either want to go that way or you want to do it like this. And sometimes it works really great like this on certain spots. Like so. But you want to do this. Or, you know, because especially around those rounded edges like that, you kind of see it's starting to taper off a little bit. So you definitely want to make sure. And what I mean, and basically like right here, let me just do this real quick. This is going to work great for right here. And I might just, as you can tell, I'm just kind of lightly holding it against it just to help give some shape right there. But again, if I would have done the other way, if it was like this, you can start to see the, if I held it like this, you can see that angle's diagonal. If I move my hand, you'll see that's a diagonal. You don't want a diagonal. You want pretty much up, down, or, you know, left, right, straight across. And then, you know, like down here on the broad areas, we can actually, you know, get a good point. You can do it. Like so. And then you can just take it up. And like I said, I'm trying to make sure it stays the way I want it. And like so. So guys, I'm going to keep working on this, and I know it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I mean, yeah, you can tell, but trust me, I will get this squared away. So let me get this round done, and then when I come back, we'll start on the next color I'm going to do. Okay, well, the first one's done. Let me zoom in. I know it's going to look a little crazy, but trust me. But yeah, so there's the first one. Let me see if I can turn this off a little bit, and you can start to, you can get some of the, no, maybe not, but this, you can definitely still, there's some of those colors, that the first ones I did. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a light sea gray. Or, let me see. Actually, I'm going to go with JN Gray, and I might, and probably will be the last one I do to do this before I get the overall, then the blending coat. But also don't forget, guys, make sure that I can remember to zoom the camera out. But make sure if you want to do any texturing or anything on the sides of the saucer, do that. And yeah, so you want to let this get decently dry, and then yeah. So now, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and go with the JN Gray, and I'm going to add more. And then I'll share that with you guys, and I'll see what I think of it. And if I like it, then yeah, I'm probably going to do the overall blending coat with this. So, oh, the fun, I tell you, the fun. So that's where we're at. Oh, that's where I'm at. So let me get a little bit more on there, and we'll take a look. Okay, JN Gray's done. I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to tell, but you can probably see it in there. But it is, and that's where I'm going to leave it. I think there's enough awesome little detail on this. So now I'm going to let this get dry, good and dry, and then I'm going to go and I'll share with you guys how to do the masking coat, or not the masking, but the blending coat. So let this get good, and we'll get back on it. Well, good Wednesday, and getting back and now getting started on the blending coat. And basically I have X2 white, and all you're going to do is just blend it. Basically, is you're going to get rid of all that sharp contrast and make it look great. And again, the other thing you want to do is stay as far away from it as you can and just start going in. Now you might have to do more than one coat, but so I'm going to keep working on that, and I'll show you as it gets closer. Okay, there's half done, and this, like I said, is just the first coat. And another tip is, with the airbrush, every once in a while, take a Q-tip and clean out the tip a little bit, because it'll help keep it from building up. But then again, like I said, what I'm doing is kind of like when I put on the Aztecs, when I started painting them, I just did a section of panels, and then that way I'm trying to get it as uniform as I can, just like that. And nice and easy, don't go crazy. And as you can tell, I keep my airbrush, I don't keep it real close, I keep it a little bit distance, because you don't want as you're spraying, kind of like that, see how that'll do that? It does those little paint spots. So again, this is a great thing to have the Q-tip for. And I'll clean the brush, get the little hairs out. And then another thing, before you really going crazy, always just kind of test it, so you can get a lot of it out. And then again, just ever so easy. And yeah. So nothing drastic, just nice and simple and easy to go. And as you can tell, it's starting to help break up some of that. So and get some more paint. And again, get it a little bit thinner in there to help get it diluted, mixed. Keep slowly going. Like so, guys. And like I said, if you see you get little paint blots from it, it's okay. You can get in here and get some of them up, and it also blend in. Again, that's why I say always have something you can turn your airbrush to real quick, just to spray, get that little bit of buildup out of the way. Ever so, just like that, guys. So I'm going to keep working on this, and when I get back, we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to try to get it all done. I'm not going to record me just doing that. Show you the technique. But like I said, don't worry if it takes a few coats. You want to go light and slow to get the good blending in. Or, you know, you blend it to where you're happy with it. If you want a little more contrast, go for it. If you don't, same. Your kit, your build, do as you like. So I'm going to keep working on this. When I get more done, I will share. Oh, this is what I'm going to call this blending done. I like it a lot. I still get the Aztecing and all the little intricate work, but it's not screaming out. It's nice. It looks like a built ship. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to take my 3000 grit wet dry sandpaper, and I'm going to just lightly sand over it again. Sometimes when doing big kits like this, the problem is no matter how well you keep it dusty and you keep your desk and everything clean, just blowing that airbrush around for 10-15 minutes, it just likes to kick up stuff. So what I'm going to do when this gets good and dry is I'm just, like I said, I'm going to go over with my 3000 grit sandpaper and lightly get it up. But I thought, why the heck not? Let's take a look at some things and start getting some of these masks off that I've had on that I wanted to get done, especially here. Where I'm going to have to do probably some major touch-up paint, especially right there. But that's okay. I can deal with that. But again, when you use your X-Acto knife, because you haven't, if you haven't clear glossed this, you know, it's not at that point where you're getting ready for decals and you're happy with the paint and everything. You still got some things you need to take care of. Just like I said, lightly take your X-Acto to help pull up your masking parts, because if you don't, it's going to scratch whatever paint you got underneath. I mean, it's easy to touch up because, yeah, there's going to definitely be some touch-ups. I know that, but so let's just keep going here. Let me zoom in a little bit better so you guys can see, because you know me, I don't ever seem to remember where I put the camera at times. So like I said, yeah, I'm going to have to do some touch-ups. That's part of it, so I'm happy with that. And again, the other thing is I've had the masking on here so long, even though the paint was dry, when you put like masking tape and stuff on and you know, and it's been on for longer than it should be because I was building those Christmas gifts. I should have got things done, but it's okay. Touch-ups, like I said, you will have touch-ups because it is going to pull some of the paint up. But again, nothing that can't be easily fixed. So sometimes getting your fingers in here to help grab it helps too. Dang tape. So get you little bugger. There. And let's just go here. Pull you off. Thank you very much. Come back here. Like I said, I definitely know there's going to be touch-ups. That's fine. I can deal with that. Like I said. There's that. And here. Let's get this piece. And there's still more painting. I gotta get the thrusters painted, but as far as the really big paint on the top saucer, it is pretty well and done. As long as I don't ding the heck out of it. You know, like I said, touch-ups I can deal with. Those are easy. But okay, now it's time to go down here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let's get you guys. Fun. Like I said, you remember especially had this on a while, but here's the great thing is, I love being able just to do that. I can just spin it around and take it off for the most part. Yeah. And there's that one. Again, like I said, I'm going to go lightly over this with 3000 grit sandpaper to help. And even sometimes when you mask and you paint, your paint creates lines too. I mean, thick lines. So depends on how much paint you used and what went on. So I would definitely suggest going back through and making sure you sand it down very lightly, not hard, just very, very, very lightly to help get that off of there. Now, come on. Really? There we go. And set you back straight. And oh, the fun of the tape, I tell you. Okay, let's take a look at this, guys. So there's the sensor bands and the rest of the holes showing. Now again, like I said, I'm going to probably do touch-ups, but looking pretty snazzy as it is. Like I said, once I get it lightly sanded and get ready to, and get the detail paints done that I need to do, it's going to look even better. But let me move this a second and put it down here so you can see. So, dun dun dun, like I said, touch-ups, but it'll be fun. And here's the A and B deck. I still got to do some paints there, and then and then you can see, like I said, I went with the duck egg blue for the impulse area, so I like that. And then the darker blues you see, that's the medium blues I said I went with. So with that, guys, I'm gonna let this get good and dry and start work on the secondary hull again, and keep moving forward. So see you in a bit when I get more done. All right, welcome back. And I've already done the sensor bands and the side of the ship, or the saucer. And basically, like I said, I'm just taking 3000 grit sandpaper, getting it pretty good. I got a little wool, and then basically I'm just doing this, guys. I'm not even doing I'm not sanding very hard, and I'm just knocking it down, knocking those paint lines down a little bit more so they blend a little better. But yeah, and just ever so gently, and I make sure I'm keeping the sandpaper wet, because if you don't, it will definitely ruin the day. But like I said, I'm just lightly, ever so lightly, just sanding. And like I said, I'm using that the 3000 because I just want to take, I don't want to take anything really off except the high bumps and that dust that just doesn't like to go anywhere. Also, periodically get a section done, go back through, wipe it down. And doing that one is because you are, this isn't acrylic paint, so the water will bring up some of it, which is okay. But then you want to make sure to get that stain out of the way, because this will stain if you can wash it, but letting it dry. So, and again, just ever so gently, like I said, not going crazy, just getting that sanded, like so. And then I'll do this section on its own here in a minute, because I did some touch up and I need to let it get decently good and dry, so it might wait for a while, but a little longer than a minute. But, so there you go, as you can see. And yes, I mean, there you can still see the color shifts I got in here. They're still very, very present. Just not as crazy as they were, doing that, guys. So I'm not going to make you stay here and watch me sand all of this, but I'll come back when I get some more done. So see you in a bit. Oh, good. Wednesday. It's the first official week of New Year, and I had to take a little break on the car, so I'm coming back to work on the Enterprise. And I think I've said that, but you know me. So I'm finishing up doing some detail painting and going to start working on the area of the lifeboats and the phasers. And then I just got little bits of to paint in here, and then call it good. But if you're doing the lifeboats, again, choose a color you like most. And what I've looked at the reference pictures, unlike the Voyager, the Enterprise D, the Enterprise E, and other ships, they're only outlined a little bit with the border that says, yeah, this is where the lifeboat is. But like on the other ships, you could tell they were lifeboats because of the beige, tan, or yellow color. But looking at the reference photos, they just really blend into the hull in with the rest of the marking, which is okay. It's cool. But so with that, I'm going to go with a very, very light, probably I'm going to go with sky gray to help define those. And now I got to mask them off, but oh gee, where did I put my decent size roll of masking tape? I have to find. Right in front of me. Check it out. So with this, guys, again, you can hand brush or airbrush, and I'm going to airbrush. And I'm going to make sure I have a good enough overlay, as you can see where I'm marking. When I go do the airbrush, I don't want to have any overspray, and I'll probably even make these a little bit bigger. I just want to get these outlined. Or if you do want to make them bigger, you can go with, I also have the bigger tape, so I'll show you. But that's what I'm going to work on, is trying to get a lot of the detail painting taken care of, so I can put a gloss coat over this, protect it, and have it ready for decals. But like I said, if you want to use bigger tape, however you want to do it, that's your call. And if you're worried about overspray, like I get to be, I'll do a bigger area, or a bigger tape area, masking area. Kind of like so. Make sure, yep. And like this. Tape's so fun, I tell you guys. And there's that one. So now the area around this is very, very, very well masked. And didn't put a whole lot of pressure, but I do want to make sure this part here where I'm going to paint, that edge that I masked off is down, because sometimes with these you don't get them tight enough and the paint likes to bleed. So I'm going to get to work on this, and I will show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. But I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do all the masking and then do more painting. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Well, welcome back, and yes, it's a masking tape mess. Now I know I showed you I did the small areas, but something I've learned in my skill set sometimes when I go to do small areas, as I was learning the airbrush, I got overspray really bad. So just a good habit is I try to make sure I can keep that overspray in the tape and not on the kit, because yeah, stuff happens. But hey, but everything's done. I did the lifeboats, the phasers, and I also did the thrusters. So let me zoom in as I start peeling this off. First we'll go with the blue tape. And again, try to be gentle. Just, you know, even low adhesive tape can sometimes be your nemesis, because, oh, well, we like to stick. So, like I said, I'm just slowly starting to get this off, and carefully getting this off, not slowly, but carefully. Here we go. So, I did flat yellow for the thrusters, I did sky gray for the lifeboats, and then I went and used gunmetal for the phaser strips, or the phaser banks. And what I'm gonna do after this gets good and dry is I'm gonna dry brush a little copper over it, just to give a little highlight, like the phaser banks. The reason I went with this is because, you know, these are putting out energy beams, plasma beams, however you want to do it, and these aren't always going to be nice and pretty. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know my builds, the way I like to build is to make it as close to what happens with things in real life. Then, oh wow, there's phaser bank and it's so pretty. How it's not even dirty. We just fired, you know, for the last 15-20 minutes in battle. So yeah, I'm ranting, I know, sorry, but here we go. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. And sometimes this just comes up nice, easy, and oh, no problem. And then there's other things like, what? So when you run into those, it's good to, you know, you have your tweezers and you want to keep your X-Acto knife around just in case. But I try to use the tweezers as much as I can on a lot of this, because, you know, sometimes this stuff just does not want to play nice. And then again, I have my X-Acto, as you can see, and I try to be as gentle and careful as I can. So like I said, just remember, be gentle. And I'm not going to make you guys watch me. It's going to take me a couple minutes, so sit back, relax, and I'll be back in a shake. Okay, and there we go. All masks are off. I got a little touch up to do over here, and then around the phaser banks in some parts. But yay, it's not crazy. So, and I also went and got that door painted right. So now I gotta do a little touch up here, do a little more painting there, and then this thing's gonna be ready for its gloss coat. Not only for the decals, but because I'll be working in it, doing the lighting, I want to make sure to get this paint pretty darn good and protected. So with that, guys, I'm going to keep doing a little bit of the touch-ups and then on to glossing. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Good afternoon, and yes, this is the lower saucer. I'm getting ready to start doing textures and stuff and getting the upper saucer. I'm waiting for it to get good and dry before I do a gloss coat and then do some more on that. But what I want to share with you is I went ahead and did a lot of the panels you've seen on the ship, and like the airlocks where Spock and Kirk came out, and then I did a light blue for the start of the neck, and then I went with a I went with JN gray for a couple of these areas, and then for the big 4 areas around the saucers, I did sky gray, and I mixed sky gray and light blue. Or sky blue and light gray, and I did very, very little. I just wanted to give a bluish tint to that gray. And so now this is going to get dry, and when it gets dry, good and dry, I'm going to go back and remask the sections that I did paint, and then I'm going to start the texture while I'm waiting on the upper saucer to get good to go. So I'm going to have to remask some windows, but I'm going to let this get good and dry. But I wanted to share with what I did here, guys, and let me see if I can, let's see, let me zoom in just a bit and share with you. And there is where the neck of the secondary hull is going to go in, and then some others. So yeah, now I'm going to let that dry and get the texturing done on this. When it's good and ready to go, then after I get the texturing and get the blending coat on, then I'll take care of the thrusters, and this will be ready for lighting, because I'm going to probably put the computer board, like I said, in this, and then I'm going to get it all good to go as far as I can, because I'm actually going to get the decals put on this one and get them sealed in and ready to go, because I'm thinking once I get the secondary hull painted and ready to go, I'm going to set this on top of it and then work the wiring, instead of trying to play with all that wiring before I even get this. I'm going to actually put this onto the neck once I got everything ready to go, and then work on getting the wiring all connected that way. But that's where we're at, guys, and yay, I'm happy to be back on the Enterprise. So when I get going on more, I will share. Well, good Thursday, and it is the afternoon, and I went ahead and got the bottom part of the saucer all the way done. I didn't think you want to watch me go through texturing and doing all the texturing and then doing the overpaint, but I'm happy with how she looks. So now the next part is I'm going to get her gloss coat and get what little decals go on the bottom and start working on getting the lighting. But yes, I'm very, very happy. Let me turn it around here a little bit for you guys. But yes, I'm very, very happy with that. So let me get this gloss coated, and let's see what else I'm going to get done. Alright, the bottom of the saucer's been glossed and getting dry, but I'm going to start now on getting some of the decals done. And normally, yeah, I don't do any of the decaling until I've got the model completely built, ready to go, and going there. But because of the size of this kit, I need to go ahead and get them done, because after I get the board and everything in and trained, I don't want to do anything once I get the computer board and all that in. And yeah, so there's some wee decals on these. So I'm going to start here, and I'm not going to make you guys watch the whole thing, but I'm going to show you some of them. So right here, and I've got the instructions blown up on my computer because, my eyes are getting crazy worse. So here we go. And 117, okay. Yeah, these kind of like when I started on the when I did the NX-01, man, there was a lot of wee small decals or decals, and kind of drove me nuts. But again, so I'm not going to try to get this all done in one sitting. I'm going to space it out. I'm going to get these couple small ones, and I'm going to do the lifeboats, the thrusters, and the phasers, and see where I'm at there. The only thing that's not going to be done is I save this. This is the last thing I do on the kit, is I give her her official big name. So that's the last thing I'll do, and that's after everything's together too. So, all right, let's see how these look. And yeah, because they're so small, they can be a really pain in the behind. So you definitely want to be careful. And remember, make sure you just, you can dab a little bit, but dab a little bit of water on to help put them in place. And get you over. And another good thing, especially with small ones, have a toothpick, because you can hold the decal sheet in your hand with the tweezers on one hand and use the toothpick to help move those into place. And then because you use water, you might, sometimes you can use too much water, and one thing you don't want to do, just stick the Q-tip at the end of it, and yeah, or because if you try to dab this smaller one, you're going to lose it because it's going to go right into the Q-tip. And sometimes because there's so much water on there, it makes it hard to get in place. So just like so, maybe up a little bit more. There. And there. Good, that's one down. Two down actually, but yeah. Crazy, right guys? And then this one's going to be hopefully pretty nice to do. Okay. We're going to just like so, and sometimes I'll have a paper towel and I'll rip pieces off of it, especially on these longer ones and bigger ones. Sometimes trying to blot out with just a Q-tip doesn't work, but once you do blot these, you're gonna have to put them back in to better, make sure they're in that position you want, like so. And then what I'll do is now I'll run my Q-tip over it, make sure, and the love of my building is solves that. But with small ones, I like this, I try to make sure that there is not a whole bunch in here, because you put it on there and it can pick up the decals or the decals, however you say it. And then just like this, I just brush that on there. Okay, that's fun. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to do 5 of these escape pods, and I got to do that. So first thing I'm going to do is escape pods outlining. And again, guys, just you can use your finger, you can use a Q-tip, you can do whatever you want to help you get them in place, or just get water dabbed on there. But yeah. The fun of some masks, I tell you, they just don't want to stay. Yeah, let's go ahead and get you going. There we go. Like I said, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch all this, guys. I'm just going to do a few, and then I'm going to go and get her done, and I'll share with you when I get it done. But if you've never worked with little bitty decals or very minuscule decals like this, it can be definitely an adventure. And I will share when I go to put these on, because there's a lot of little ones, and then there's that decal that goes around to get that outline, but there's a lot of little ones right here. So, yeah. And it says sometimes you have to let the decal sit for 2 or 3 minutes, and then sometimes it's like a minute and they're good to go. Now if you're trying to figure out is it ready to go, take it out and just barely touch with the end of your toothpick or the end of your tweezers and see if it moves on the paper easily. Because, like I said, sometimes, you know, you think it's been sitting in there forever and it's not coming out. And the other thing, guys, try to let this rest for at least the same amount of time that you had to soak it. So these get rested and aren't brittle or as, you know, because decals, especially smaller ones, especially pin line ones, they can get very brittle and they don't like being messed with. So let them relax. And here's the other thing is just like I said, I'm not worried about getting it into place. I just want to get them off for now. Just like so. And if you can see, that did kind of break on me there. So, like I said, you can see. And if they're trying to break on you that much, just soak it again real quick in the water like so to help it move a little easier, more easy off the paper. If it's not one to go like right, you know, sometimes. So, now that these are in place, and sometimes with these thin pin line ones, try to use your toothpick more because it's a little gentler. It doesn't have the pointiness of like tweezers can. And then, like I said, sometimes you might have to add a little bit more water, especially if it broke on you, which is fine. And then, like I said, sometimes because you add a little extra water, you got to get it removed. The one that doesn't want to play nice. And here's the other one that kind of broke on me, but it's, yep, just like so. And like I said, don't go, you know, you don't have to do a whole lot of hard pressure with these guys. Just a little bit. And then again, when you go to do this, be light. I mean, you're pressing down, but like I said, with these thin line ones, sometimes they're definitely going to move on you, trust me. But they're definitely going to like to break too, like as you've seen. So we just very easily put them back in to place. Make sure they're where you want, and there we go. Now, like I said, with the if you think you got too much water, take your Q-tip, dab a little bit of it off. Again, have a very awesome toothpick ready. And if it does break, like you just see, they can, and most likely sometimes they will, just like that one keeps doing. And it's not the end of the world, guys, trust me. And I'm being gentle. And I mean way gentle, but these little lines sometimes they just, and I might not have let it, I mean, it looked ready to go, and it was to me, but maybe just let it soak a little bit longer. And now we're just gonna ever so gently put them where they're supposed to be. Sorry if my phone's on vibrate. I'm not gonna answer. It's not one I need to talk to right now. Especially when it says, oh, it's probably spam. So, and just be patient, guys. Don't get frustrated. It can be frustrating. And if it keeps sticking like that, that means it needs a little more water. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take the toothpick and dab it. So as you guys can see, sometimes these things get a little crazy. So, and then because I haven't had much water, a lot of times what I'll do with this is first, before you put solvent, make sure you're happy with where everything is. And if you're not, make sure to get it wet again with water before you put the solvent, because especially as delicate as these smaller, thinner decals are, you really do not want to touch them after you put the solvent or whatever solution you're using, because they will go crazy. So with that, guys, I'm going to get back to work, and I'll show you when I get more done. So see you soon. Well, good morning, everyone. It's Friday and getting back to doing some work. So, as you watched in the other video, the pen lines around the ship, they are definitely very delicate and very crazy to sometimes play with. So what I did, because I was having problems here in the thrusters and around the phaser banks, I went and actually used this wee little guy and X Red 7, and I painted in. It's very easy, especially on the thrusters because you have those lines. And let me see if I can zoom in better for you so you can see. There we go. So you have nice little lines here to follow, and I mean not just lines but groove marks. So, and then on the phasers, let's see if I can get a better shot for you guys and zoom in just a little. Oh, come on. Focus. Focus. No, focus. There we go. And as you can see, definitely with the close-up, it's like, oh my gosh! And basically I just went around the edge of the phaser bank and just did that. Now I know there's some that's like, you should have sanded these down and made them flat, but yeah. I understand, but I went with this way. So, these are done. And then, yes, I did do the dry brush of the copper on to give it a little different color. So now, the fun part that I'm going to do before starting on the bottom of the saucer, because there's very few decals on that to get done. I'm going to start doing the panel lining around the A and B deck. Now, instead of using their decals that they send with the kit, I got these replacements from HDA Model Works, and yes, I'm sorry, let me get my big hand there. And he has some replacements, and if you guys remember, I've already used these on this kit, and yes, I've already got them really trimmed down to go. So one that helps is, let's see if I can get here in camera again for you, is being able to do this. I can really, without getting them wet, I can start test fitting and figuring out how I want to do this, and try to figure out where each thing goes, because the instructions, yeah, as you can tell, let me see, get you over to my computer there. And yes, I've downloaded these.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Sorry about that. But as you can see, I've downloaded them, and I have to magnify them. But yeah, these guys, there is not a whole lot of detail on how. Because see where the pinstripes are, you got 112, 111. It doesn't really tell you except it points at top and points at bottom, but it doesn't show you really how to do it. So like I said, I've got research pictures that I'm using and gonna do that. So I have that up, and yeah, and if you want to, and you're very good at doing pen lining, you can paint them. Trust me, if I could do that, I would right now. But alas, I'm back with the decals. So give me a few seconds, and I'm gonna get some warm water. And yes, warm water seems to help. Not hot, but warm with a little bit of soap in it, just a drop. And we'll get to getting started on these and get working on the bottom of the saucer. But give me a second, and you guys will be able to join me at least for the first one, and then I'll get the rest of them done, and then we'll start on the bottom. But I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. So I've already got it soaked. So when you use these replacement decals or any decals that you get from HDX that they make, you definitely want to follow instructions. So I let it soak for 25 seconds. Now it's going to sit and rest for at least a minute, and then we're going to go in, and I've already wetted down and got it ready to go. So yeah, the fun, just to hurry up and wait now, but that's fun. And I'm sorry that this isn't all the way where you can see what I'm going to be doing. Try to turn it a little bit so you can see, guys. And yep. Ooh, the fun. So, just a couple of seconds more, guys. It's still Still resting, but we're getting there. And even if you've already wetted it down, it doesn't hurt to go back. And make sure you got a paper towel, Q-tip, whatever you need. But as you can tell, I'm just ever so gently getting it off. Now let's get it up there. And the funny thing is, if you did this with the other, the box decals, you'd start tearing the crap out of this thing right about now. So now we're just gonna get it moved into position very gently. And sometimes it helps, especially with panel linings, sometimes have one of these small Q-tips, these pointy Q-tips to helps bring it up. The more I look at the picture, the more I'm seeing that. So that one looks pretty good, and I'm not going to do much more with that right now. Because I want to get the other one going. So let's go with 109. And as like I said, I trim these down, guys. So now I'm just cutting off the numbers. Like I said, and then just, if you need to grab another Q-tip, and just help push it down, go ahead. And keep your pointy one, because even when you go to do that, you're going to have to double check that these things are staying. Especially when you go to pull it out, you want to make sure that they're lined up like that. Like so. Okay. Wow. Crazy, right? Alright, well, I'm going to finish getting these on, guys, and then I will share with you when they're done. But let's see if I can zoom in for you a little bit so you can see a little bit better. So, yeah. There we go. Alright, guys. Well, I'll catch you when I get this done. Okay, well, the pinstriping is done, and I have got it solved set. Let me turn it around for you, and so you guys can see. Yeah, there's some areas that weren't one to play, but I'm not going to mess with it too much now because of the solve set that's on it. I'll touch it up with paint if I have to later, but there you go, guys. And yes. Yeah, like I said, there's some little areas, but yeah, I'm going to get those fixed when I can. So, now on to the bottom of the saucer. Alright, decals are down. Now, one thing I definitely want to say about when you start working with these decals, if, like me, you have this kit and you've let it sit and, you had to open everything, look at it, even though I had the decals in the box, in plastic or a Ziploc bag, just as the older they get, I let these sit quite a while, and they were released from the paper. But as I started to go in, and I wasn't even putting hardly any pressure, I was using the pointy Q-tip. As I started moving it slowly off the paper, they started breaking. And the only thing I can account for that is that they're getting up there. So the last thing I'm going to share with you guys today, besides I'm going to take a nice couple pictures to share, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do these. Now, on the top of the saucer, I did do freehand, but with shaky hands and stuff now, sometimes I just need to, double check. So what I did is I took my 6mm width T.B.I masking tape, this little guy, and especially on the thrusters, I went around that little indentation where you can tell that they are. Second thing, if you need, grab these. I do. Good Lord, do I. So, and again, like I said, I have this small little detail brush, and I'll show you real quick on this and the phaser on how I do this. Now, when you do definitely panel line painting like this and use a small brush, just barely dip it in so you barely have any on it, and then get to a point where you're comfortable. You guys know how it is. So there's that one. Now the same thing's going to go with the phaser here. Let me see if I can get a little bit better. And all I'm going to do is paint the outside of them. I'm not going to go really crazy. What I mean is just the outside edge of the phaser bank. Let me get down in here, and if I'm blocking, I'm sorry guys. But I'm just doing a light pass on the outside. Now normally I'd like to have it all the way taped, but especially with these phaser banks, sometimes you're not able to on some cards. Just again, and I mean there's hardly any pressure. I'm hardly putting any pressure on this. Like I said, I just want to give that outline of that decal, and I mean I may not be in the right area on it, you know, and maybe it's a little further out, but so there is that. So I'm going to finish these up, guys, and I'll get the masks on and do another close-up hopefully and share with you. So I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so I put the two halves together, and yes, nothing is done, but I wanted to show you how it looked, and I'll turn it over here in a second, but do a little spin so you can see everything if I keep my big fingers out of the way. Okay, and bottom of the saucer, and I'm going to do this slowly. And the one thing I forgot to tell you guys is, even though I did the blending and it kind of looked like I overdid, when you put the gloss coat down, like when you're getting ready to do decals, it helps bring a lot of that back out. And even when you go do the matte coat, it'll still be there. But let's get this back over and share that. So there we go, guys. Most of the painting is now done. Now just working on the decals to get those sealed, and I can get started on lighting. So with that, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. Have a great next week, and I will see you on the bench. Bye.